Hi, welcome back to Roll to Confirm. I'm one of your hosts, Shay.
I'm Zach.
Today we're going to be talking about spellcasting. 5e and Pathfinder. Both two different worlds of spellcasting. One is a lot of numbers, a lot of add-ups, and a lot of book reading. The other has dumbed it down, made it extremely simple. The only thing that's limited is your imagination. So, you've done some reading, Zach. What do you think about 5e first? Let's talk about that one.
Well, I don't think it's fair to call that dumbed down. Well, it's kind of insulting, I guess. It's not dumbed down, I think it makes more sense. Because in Pathfinder, you prepare a spell, and then you cast it once, and it's gone. So, it's counterintuitive, because if you want to take, like, the open-close spell, or something like that, it wastes the slot, because you can't fill that with anything else. Whereas 5e, you take the spells you're preparing, and the casts are different. If you prepare 4 spells and you get 6 casts, when you cast one, it doesn't use it up. You just get 6 casts from that list. So it makes it easier to prepare situational stuff like open, close, or message, or whatever, or what have you, without it, wasting a slot. Wasting a slot.
Now, in 5e, you could take, for instance, Magic Missile is a first level spell. When you attain higher levels, you can take that spell and you can go higher, such as you can take Magic Missile, put it in the second slot. So when you put in the second slot of your spells, it's stronger and more powerful. Is that for all of them, or as you attain levels, there's other slots that can only go as low as second level or such?
You don't have to use a second level slot. You just cast it using one of your slots. Like, for instance, you prepare Magic Missile, and then say your third level spell, the only one you have is Fireball. And if you want to cast your Magic Missile using that third level slot, as long as it's prepared as the first level spell, you can do that. This is basically dumping more magic into it. So instead of your Fireball, you can do a third level Magic Missile, and you get, I think, 2 more bolts or whatever it is. So it'd be like 5. Cantrips are the only ones that level up as you level. And the rest of the spells, they're stronger with higher spell slots. Which, I kind of miss meta magic, but I mean, sorcerers get it at least. So that's something. But I mean, it is nice being able to, you want a Magic Missile. Because, like, if your Magic Missile is the only thing it can hurt if it's like a ghost or something, and you're like, well, it sucks, it's only a first level spell, but you have, like, a Fireball that's not going to be used, like, not useful for that ghost, you can amp it up. Because it's like that, I need this spell, but I need it stronger. So you can do that.
Alright. Would that mean that spellcasters are stronger in 5e? I mean, not at earlier levels. They pack a punch, but is it just similar to Pathfinder, where when the higher levels go up, wizards are just blowing everyone out of the water when it comes to almost anything?
I'm not really sure as to their power level between the two. I just know that they're pretty potent. The spells have been amped up quite a bit. Probably to make up for the fact that monster hit points have been adjusted a lot, because ACs are also a lot lower than normal, like normal being Pathfinder. Like, I think the Tarrasque has like 24 AC, which is really high for 5e, but Pathfinder's like, oh, is that it? I have that level 4.
Pathfinder. The spells there, I grew up with Pathfinder a lot. It was just spell slots. You have some certain, like, sorcerers have spells known, and they have them, and then they can put whatever slot they want to. Like wizards, you have to prepare the spell first, before then you can cast it. Now, from 5e and Pathfinder, I think Pathfinder, you get more spells than 5e. I think they hold more spells on them. In 5e, it's more...
I think so, because Pathfinder, the spells individually are a lot weaker. Like I said, you have to prepare situational spells. Like, you have to use up a slot. So I think in 5e, I'm mainly thinking of this wizard here. He gets fewer spell slots overall, but I think he does cap out at 4. But, like, the sorcerer doesn't get more than him now, because he has the sorcery points. And he has his 2 bloodlines. Yeah, I don't think they get more or less. It might be a little bit less.
Now, short rest and long rest is a new thing since the 5e rules came out. What does the short rest say for spellcasters? Do they get some spells back, or is it still a long rest situation?
I think there's a wizard. I think one of the wizard skills, like, it doesn't even have to be in a specific school, Just something you get for being a wizard is you get like half of your spells back on a short rest, I believe.
Wow, that's pretty good
Or you
compared to
get
Pathfinder.
like X number of spell slots back. No, normally you just get them back on a long rest. And they have changed the long rest slightly, so if you get woken up, say, by an encounter and a bunch of wolves or something, you can do rigorous activity for up to an hour without it affecting your long rest. Like in Pathfinder, there's a situation where, I was sleeping, got like 5 hours in, and then something woke me up, and then I had to fight for like 2 minutes, and then I killed the guy, went back to sleep, but I had to completely restart. Like you have to add an hour.
Yeah, it adds an hour to any rigorous
Yeah.
movement that you do, and I mean, from a player standpoint, hearing that from a DM is like, oh, now I gotta waste another hour trying to get my spells back or trying to get my HP back or the rest. And 5e, they made that a lot easier, and thank you. Thank you.
Which is partly why I am liking 5e a lot more, especially at DM it, because the rules make more sense. Like, if you get woke up in the middle of the night and I don't know, so you have to go take a dump or something,
Yeah,
you're not going to have to sleep another half an hour to make up for it. You're just going to go back to sleep and be fine.
Yeah.
Because you're not, I mean, like, you're not doing anything,
Yeah, you're not doing much. I mean, it's like sleepwalking, or some of us who wake up in the middle of the night and have insomniac or something, just to go to get a drink of water, kind of just sit up in bed, think, and then go back to sleep. You're not really losing any of your time.
You
You're
don't have to
just
do another hour of sleep to make up for it. It doesn't make any sense.
So
that's why it says up to an hour. So, like, more than that, it's like, yeah, you're pretty much awake for the day now if you've been fighting for an hour and a half.
yeah, and even then, if it says 8 hours of rest, rest. If you believe that your character's sleepy, sleep. If your character just needs a long rest to get all your stuff back, then just rest up. So, kind of gives you that two options. As in Pathfinder, sleep.
Yeah, I
It's like
believe
you have to sleep.
Pathfinder specifically says they have to sleep, whereas 5e's like sleep, rest, nothing more rigorous than like drinking or writing.
Yeah. In my own opinion, since I play Pathfinder, I would blend the rules from 5e to Pathfinder on those aspects. Just so my players don't have to constantly wait up or like, oh, I just use all my spells in this room. We're going to need a long rest or an 8-hour sleep session so I get them all back.
Yeah, it's prepared casters in Pathfinder are really awful early level without their spells. Especially if you're playing like a blaster wizard or something.
Yeah.
Where you're just magic missiling everything and run out real quick, and then you're just like, oh, I have crossbow, that's about it.
Yeah, oh crap, that's it.
Which the other leads into another point. In 5e, your spellcasting ability, like wisdom for clerics, is actually your spellcasting ability. Like in Pathfinder, if your wizard casts fireball, he uses dexterity to aim it. Which, I mean, I guess makes sense because you are physically aiming
you're
it.
physically trying to.
But in 5e, it makes it a lot easier.
Where it says, here's your main casting ability, use that for everything.
It's like, if you're a wizard who's super intelligent, if you want to be a frail old guy and say Pathfinder with 8 dexterity, you're not going to be able to hit anything unless you're doing like buff spells.
Yeah.
Whereas in 5e, you can still be extremely dangerous, which I think fits. Because you see an old wizard who's been practicing magic for 30 years, just because he looks old and frail doesn't mean he's just...
Yeah, he doesn't know how to handle
it. He's going to blow you up.
Experience does go a long way. Well, that's going to cut us out for Roll to Confirm. I hope we can see you next week. If you have any questions at all, just throw them down here in this section. Maybe something you want to talk about, maybe something more you want to talk about, such as some of your own ideas when you do spellcasting or such like that. Or maybe another thing that we can just touch up on. Something that's going to, help your gameplay session. Here's a hint. I would say description. Description for a DM is key if you want your players to remember all the good times that you've had. I can't remember half of my sessions. Should have did better, but I didn't. Well, we'll catch you later.